I mean, you have 8 teams
Mm-hmm.
spread over the whole USA, and the map shows the closest team per county.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, for example, that
One thing we will definitely see right now is how the Wayne and his team can market this this product, and whether they can do as good of a job as Vince did.
well, they do have The Rock, and The Rock is a good um, marketer. That I do give him that, and it seems like everything he touches turns into gold. The question is whether he can do the same with the XFL. Um, that's one thing to think about. So I do think that they chose the new Vince McMahon, but Vince McMahon, you can't compare the two. The
Legend, man.
two
They're trying
different.
to get 9 billion for the WWE. Then if you heard
I
that
saw,
one.
I saw, I saw it. I saw it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I do think that if you're going to put it in someone's hands, The Rock is a good person to put it in. I think it's good for them to get one or two major contributors as well. So, for example, can you imagine if they get just a
Theo?
thought? Well, Tio is a good one, but
Imagine they get Theo to just show up a couple of games, because Theo
well,
always posts videos on Instagram where he shows he still has it.
yeah,
Well, show us in the XFL.
yeah. Well, Tio, but I was thinking more like, we talked the last show, a couple of shows back about Jay-Z, about him wanting to buy a team. Can you
Ah,
imagine if he buys stake in one of the teams?
ooh.
Can you imagine if, for example, Ed Reed goes as a coach to one of the teams? So you can imagine a lot of things, and it just needs to catch on. You just need one Kevin Hart, because they're buddies, right? You just need one Kevin, but Kevin Hart is also about his money, so it's not gonna go there for free. But you just need. Let me, because does Philadelphia have a team? I don't think so.
Vegas Vipers, Arlington Renegades, Orlando Guardians, Houston Roughnecks. We have let me see, DC Defenders, San Antonio Brahmas, Seattle Sea Dragons, St. Louis Battlehawks, and yeah, that's all. Those are the teams. So
Well, St. Louis.
there's
So
no
yeah,
Philly.
no, there's no Philly. I saw a chart of the closest teams. That's also a that's
What
also
will it be? The Philadelphia Leprechauns?
I don't know. I saw a chart. Let me see XFL teams. Hold on.
Hey, Kevin, man, don't roast
Because
them. After that one.
let me see. There was a chart I saw where they showed the closest. Yeah, it's this one. I'm gonna share my screen.
Yes, please share it.
Uh, it's a chart that shows
That's a good point you made, though.
the
And guys, if you it was the show where we talked about the deal between Bacardi and Jay Z, where he basically sold off his 25% or a little bit more than 25% of his stake into Duce, and we were basically speculating where he would reinvest. And I mean, that's a good way to please go watch it. By the way, it's a great show. Gives you a good insight into how you can leverage a great deal. Basically, get yourself in a great position and great leverage to get yourself a good deal.
yeah.
But yeah, it's great that you said that, because I think if you get a couple of big names to own a team,
Yeah.
mm, they have some pretty well known coaches right now. Um, If I'm not mistaken, they had a couple of legends as coaches. Um,
Can you imagine? I mean, it's just. But yeah, I have the map. I can show it now. So these are the teams, and that's also. I mean, you have 8 teams
mhm,
spread over the whole USA, and the map shows the closest team per county.
mhm,
So you see, for example, that DC, let me check, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is here. So the closest team would be the DC Commanders.
mhm.
Uh, it's easier for Florida to have a team because it's bigger.
Mhm.
But yeah, you have some major parts. For example, the Vipers. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's
too. It's difficult to
too
get.
big. Yeah,
It's difficult to get. To get the involvement because
the
takes too
buy-in.
much. It's not in your city. It's not
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
state. You need to travel far. So they would need to get more teams in order for the league to grow. And you can even argue that the cities where they're in, Arlington, Houston. I mean, Houston is a big city,
Mhm,
but Houston, San Antonio, they're both Texas. So you have 2 teams in Texas. Las Vegas, St. Louis, DC, Seattle, Orlando. They don't have. I don't know what the major sports cities are, but they don't have a New York team. They don't have a
mm,
Boston team. You
yeah.
know, they don't have Atlanta team.
It's a good question. Well, I would like to know why they chose that route, by the way, because you would. I mean, they have moved from. If you look at the difference between, they moved a couple of these teams.
Yeah.
So from if you compare the teams from 2020 to 2022, they first of all moved a couple of them and also changed the logo of each team. Um, but
Well,
the question is, why did they chose to put, let's say, uh, yeah, that's a good question. Why did they put like the Renegades specifically in that area and not in, let's say, a New York team? Maybe they're building towards that.
maybe no, it's probably because the team got bought up by someone or there's a change. So you bring it to your city. That's what oftentimes happens. So that probably doesn't have anything to do with the XFL organization on itself, but more with the owners of the specific teams.
Mm.
Can you imagine?